Hello and welcome to round 2 of the 2025 UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup. With me, Emma Martin, and joining me in the studio today, Matt Payne. We're coming to you today from Leuven in Belgium, and it was a cracker last year on this course with Guy Tormena and Theo Hauser taking the wins. Who are going to take the wins today? That is the question we are all here to see. Well, Matt, it's going to be fast and furious, and we've already had some upsets. Now, just reminding our viewers, coming in today, the World Cup standings after round 1, Sukapalova from Fromberg from Boissier in the women, Klemenchek from Lind from Gegenheimer in the men. But the course today, it's running really, really fast.
It certainly is, and this is the run from the race start. This chicane is really key to get a good position going into the first obstacle. It takes our riders onto the start, finish straight, and then it's a 90-degree left-hand turn here, tight right round, and then we go straight into the wave ride. Over that smoothly, I'm not taking too much speed, it sets you up for this double. We've seen issues on the doubles already, not just because you've got to bunny hop the kids who are in the dip in the middle, and then it's a left and a right chicane again, and this is lining the riders out. Dropping down here, we're now into the second square, second plaza, and you can just see these horizontal lines going across. They're actually about a 5 centimetre step, and it means that you don't carry speed into the step up, and we've seen issues with the step up as well. Riders getting that right are carrying a lot of speed then into the wall ride. Positioning here key, because as you come from that wall ride, it is an incredibly long straight to go underneath the gantry. The time trial, 1 lap. The racing today, 2 full laps. That means it's going to test our riders really, really well. And with that big long start straight and finish straight, lots of space for overtaking. Now, the women's individual time trial, which was the start of the day today for gridding, Guy Tormena, the world champion, coming back into round 2 of the World Cup, setting the fastest time from Marion Fromberg. Now, a couple of things to look out for. You can see Sukapalova, the winner of round 1 and the current leader of the World Cup standings, not qualifying. She had an issue with the second jump, so that is the big story for the qualifications in the women's race. Tormena's time, 59.3, absolutely phenomenal, and she's going in this first heat. Hannah Beck from Germany, Guy Tormena from Italy, Maria Shurkisuk from Ukraine, and Konstantina Giorgio from Cyprus. And this kick is going to be really, really key. You can see the world champion Tormena going to the front. Becky side by side there as they come out on to the straight. They've come around this left-hand turn, and it's positions 2 and 3 that are really critical here. So if you get position 1, you're safe, you're out of the way. What is key is second position at the moment, held by Giorgio of Cyprus, cleanly over those doubles. You can see the 2 leaders cleaning the doubles. 3rd and 4th places. 3rd place currently a Beg. 4th place Sjöström. Not cleaning the doubles, not carrying as much pace and speed, and having to ride through the dip in the middle, costing them speed and time. But look at the pace that Tormena has put down these step downs, now into the step up jump. You can see cleanly drops that front wheel, whereas we see behind Giorgio just landing it on the face. They're not carrying as much speed and pace, and that takes even more speed off. This means Tormena at the moment needs to keep this clean, not make any mistakes. Meanwhile, look over the shoulder for Giorgio, and you can see Beck and Sturstier coming. Emma, the world champion's looking great.
Oh, she's looking absolutely superb, and she decided to not come and join us for round 1 of the World Cup this year, coming into round 2 and being absolutely dominant here.
So Tormena clear at the front, but we've just seen the move up behind here, because the move has been made here by Sjöström up on to the wheel of Giorgio. And remember, there's plenty of overtaking spaces on the way through into the doubles, and you could just see both riders coming down together. Beck sitting in 4th position. This is close between positions 2 and 3. 2 riders through, 2 riders eliminated all the way until we get into our minor final and our major finals. So really, really key, the battle for 3rd place and 2nd place, and who is in that. And at the moment, Giorgio holding on for Cyprus onto the step up, and the pressure is going to be on. A little bit of an overlap there from Sjöström has come around onto this left-hand turn. Tormena looks across. At the moment, it's going to be a clear run for her, but it's going to be about who carries speed, who carries reduce the pace out here. Look over the shoulder from Giorgio. Giorgio goes. Tolmanian's taking the high fives. The sprint unwinds here. And at the moment, Giorgio's going to hold her off. Or is she? Sergio putting everything into the sprint. Comes alongside. Not quite enough to go through.
Well, Sherstyuk took second place in that Ukrainian Championships to Sukapalova, the winner of round one. I'm sure there was some discussion between the compatriot riders as to entering here in Leuven today. Not quite progressing, but a great first time out. So we're looking at heat number 2. It is indeed Camfort, Boissier, Clusure and Becker this time out, and they've been given their 15-second warning.
This is going to be a really interesting heat. Boissier really has come into form here. Closure absolutely on fire. 4th and 5th in the time trial and the qualifying. And you can see it is 4th and 5th who are leading this out. The two teammates that go round that left-hand turn at the moment. It's Melanie Van Camfort who's holding 3rd position, holding the wheel at the moment of Closure. Up over the doubles. Oh, big overjump there by Boissier. Almost got that wrong, but landed it neatly. A lot of experience in a very young rider in Madison Boissier, and very much the case that she's earned her stripes within XCE. Very close at the moment. Down this drop, down this next left turn, really critical, because if you can carry speed here, it amplifies the gap out. All the riders rolling over the top of that section, so really interesting, that step up. And Emma still close between all 4.
It is indeed. Boissier, let's not forget, did make the final in round 1. In fact, she took 3rd place in that final in 2025, which is in Dushanbe. 2024, she made 2 World Cup finals, so she's progressing. She's getting stronger, and she's going to be looking for a finals position today.
And the two teammates coming through. So Boissier in the front. Behind it's the former world champion Kalina Closure with those rainbow bands on her sleeves, ahead of Melanie Van Camfort. And I think the two riders in front doing just enough, still keeping it safe, keeping a check behind. They'll be communicating between each other, and the two leaders are clearing the double at the moment. Van Camfort at the moment with work to do. The gap has reopened up, and now she's running out of track to make a difference. Round this sweeping left turn, down the step, drop down. You can just see the bikes just rippling down those steps underneath the riders, leading to wide line come through up onto the step up, and a little bit of a close down there by Van Camfort at the moment. The Belgian rider closing down at the moment. Becker just that little bit further back. The Turkish rider, I think, out of contention now in terms of a run for the line. Van Camfort putting the pressure on the pedals, but it looks like this should be a clean run. Closure looks over her shoulder, not wanting to expend too much energy. She'll make sure she does enough, but it's going to be Boissier and Closure in 1 and 2 going through over the line. Our qualifiers from the second of our quarterfinals.
Oh, the two French riders progressing through there, Boissier and Closure, doing what was needing to be done right from the start of the race and finishing in the same position with that energy saved as much as possible for later on. Now, from the Netherlands, Van der Meeden. From France, it is Borrelli. Germany, Fromberger, and Estonia is Civil. Those are lined up for heat number 3 of the women's race.
Now, Civil had a really good race here at Leuven last year. Can she kick off? She's on the right-hand side with the blue shoulders. Meanwhile, Fromberger up on the front takes the position, the lead position, coming out from that left turn ahead of the French champion, Margot Borrelli. Borrelli slots into second place, almost starts to slide around that turn with carrying that speed, and basically it effectively shuts the door on the riders behind. Great move here by Van der Meeden, who's moved herself up into 3rd place ahead of Civil, and he's putting the pressure here on Borrelli. Fromberger with clear air between her and second place. Margot Borrelli down the steps and on towards our big step up that's coming up, and you can see at the moment Fromberger, the one of the few riders to get close to Ottomane's time. Well, at the moment she's clear, and it looks to me like Borrelli now is the only rider with the pressure on her. Fromberger should have a less pressurised run. She's out of the saddle, just picks that pace up, keeps that speed. She'll want to keep a clean run, but will she be put under pressure behind? You can see at the moment Fromberger holding the centre of the bars, trying to minimise the wind resistance coming down this long straight. Meanwhile, a big response coming here from Borrelli to the push by Seville, who goes up, goes around this side. The rider from the Netherlands, that is Anouk van der Meijden, who is in 4th place. But that turn through, van der Meijden on the turns is making distance, making ground upon Seville. Seville makes up a little bit of ground coming through these sections, but I'll tell you something, if this was a final tight turn, you wouldn't want to discount van der Meijden for throwing everything at it. It's just these long power straights where we're seeing Borrelli and Seville start to stretch clear at the front. The world champion, the multi-time world champion has gone clear. So is at the moment Fromberger, who's gone through over the top here, doing what is known as the Tormenta, I think, of going clear, doing emulating that world champion style. And at the moment, Fromberger looking good behind. Borrelli now has to respond. Seville has got a good sprint. Can she come alongside the former world champion Margot Borrelli's coming through? Margot Borrelli putting the pressure on. Here she comes. Look at this. Seville's coming on the side. Seville gets the bars in front. Seville gets the bar in front, the wheel in front, and over the line in front of Margot Borrelli. Borrelli, the French champion, displaced to 3rd place. Anouk van der Meijden in 4th, but it's Fromberger and Seville who go through.
Well, it is indeed, and that sprint from Merrily Seville, absolutely phenomenal. Marion Fromberger just out front, and I am so looking forward to her going head-to-head with Tormena, crossed fingers, in this race today. Well, Oroves from Hungary, Pennings from the Netherlands, De Vries from the Netherlands, and Migdem from Denmark are the riders up in the final heat here in the women's race.
Okay, so away we go, and you can just see this is going to be all about getting out the gun. It's really important to go out and to go fast, and at the moment we are seeing that now. Didi de Vries, very experienced rider on the XCE World Cup circuit, a rider who has been and taken podiums before. Can she keep this rubber side down on the way through? That's the first thing you've got to do to finish first. You've first got to finish, and at the moment just stretching out the line in behind. Lee Migdem has had some great races, some great results. Hilde Penning, well, let's see if she can challenge at the moment, but this race at the moment at the front really is Didi de Vries's to lose. Behind you can see those positions changing, though, as we see Oravec and Pennings moving around, and they're closing down. So Migdem, Oravec and Pennings at the moment, those 3 riders really in the hunt, but one mistake by de Vries and they will come right back on it. It is not as substantial a gap as we saw with Fromberger, as we saw with Tormena, and a long look over the left shoulder there from Didi de Vries. Will she keep clear? They've closed the gap down though, and they're going to come back onto her wheel. She's almost back where she started 1 full lap ago.
Well, it is really a race of 2 halves, I think, because we're seeing the gaps go out in the first half of each lap, and then we're seeing them concertina back together again with some of these riders in the second half of the lap, and it's going to be really interesting to see if we see that play out in the latter stages of today. But at the moment, it is De Vries on the front, and I'll tell you something, Matt, she's going to want this because she did not make the main final in round 1, and she was really frustrated by that. She's going to want that slot today.
So she needs to keep it together in the quarterfinals and into those semi-finals, and then that will take her through to the main final if she finishes in the top half of those semi-final positions. She's on the front at the moment. She's going to try and nail this around the turn. She has done. She's opening up the throttle, and I think she's going to go clear for the win. A win is really important to the riders. It's going to buck up the confidence. It's going to keep you firing. It's going to get you in the right place going on from here. So as they come in through to the line, it's going to be Didi de Vries.
Okay, so thank you for bearing with us while we just sorted out those few technical issues on site. The racing was also paused, so you have missed none of the action. We are back and we are in it with Matt.
Okay, so this is the very first of the quarterfinals in the men's quarterfinals. Absolutely flying off from the start. Klausman, Gegenheimer, Lind and Kraus, the riders who have set off from the start really, really fast. All four riders together at the moment.
Yeah, they are indeed. Now, Lind was the fastest in the individual time trial earlier on, but the world champion, Jerome van Eck, just 0.2 of a second behind him. In fact, the top 6 riders, less than a second separated them in that individual time trial. Riker, though, is out. Nemec is out. Bin Lukman is out. And Perrin Gagne also out in the 8th round by 0.07 of a second.
So that's a quick summary of what's happened in the previous rounds as all four riders come across together. You can see at the moment that big move being made down the side there as Louis Grass of Germany goes in around the side there, goes up into the race lead. The man who had that fastest time gets the #1 plate in the time trial, and that is Edwin Lind. He's an absolute powerhouse, but he's now into 3rd place, being deposited back down the standings at the moment, and that means he's got to make up some more ground very, very quickly indeed. Time is running out because we're already making our way round on towards the step up. I think this is just going to come down to a flat out sprint, and then it's about horsepower. Lind now starts to wind up the step up over the inside. Oh, nice move there. 3rd into 2nd place. Lind now tees himself up. Has he got the most power? He should have the biggest sprint here. Can he lead this all the way to the line? Well, he's got to get around the side here of the rider in front. That's Louis Kress, but this is going to be side by side as they go in over the line. The results are up. Lind just takes it from Kraus. They came into the finishing line side by side. Lind from Kraus, Gegenheimer and Klausman. The riders not through.
Well, Lind got caught on the line in the final in round 1 because Semenchek pipped him in the sprint. He's not going to let that happen again. Heat number 2, it's Eddie Molnar from Le Ceres, from Hampio, from Calhoven, and they are lined up down on the start line ready to go.
So the 15-second board goes so they can start sometime in the next 15 seconds. It's not fixed time, and clearly the commissaire team, the race referees, wanting to get these riders up and away as fast as possible. Massive kick out there from Kylian Hampo, who is from France, and one of our newer riders into the series at the moment. Looking very, very strong, though, straight over the top of that double. He's ahead at the moment of Calhoven. Ceres at the moment, along with Molnar, have work to do. So at the moment, Molnar sitting in 4th place in that big blue skin suit. The blue and white, it says Calhoven and Hampio at the moment. Well, you can see they are working the way around, but it is Kylian Hampio who is that #4 plate on the front, who is in the front. They're pushing, though, and you can just see that big move being made up the inside there. Molnar looking to make a move up on the inside of Lorenzo says he's made the move, but it's been taken back again. Big kick coming down this straight. They've got to stay in front. They want to go through in the front too. This is going to be really critical. Positioning is key, and they're going to go side by side here. Massive kick down. Eddie Carly Molnar wants to go through in the front as they go out onto lap number 2. And look at that. Positions 1, 2 have now become 3 and 4, and it's been a real reversal on that big straight. But how much energy has that cost Molnar? He goes over the top, drops it down, keeps it super wide going over the top, not wanting anyone to come past him on that double. Drop down and step up coming.
Well, Molnar's made the major final last time, and he's just seen Simon Gegenheimer go out in the earlier heat, who beat him in that final in round 1. So he definitely will not want that to happen to him.
Side by side coming round that corner. Big elbows out moment there. Massive, massive elbows out moment there. You could just see the push coming from Thibaut Calhoven in the red and black. Calhoven has muscled his way back up again. This is going to be really, really critical. It looks like he might have done enough, but now the sprint comes behind. He knows he's got to answer this, and Calhoven now goes up alongside Molnar. And look at this big dive on the left-hand side. Lorenzo says nearly takes it on the line, and the early leader, Hampio, out as well as Ceres.
Well, I'll tell you, Calhoven and Molnar were banking on the fact they had that, and Lorenzo Ceres was trying to catch them unawares. 0.19 of a second. Ceres does not go through. Well, heat number 3 is Van der Steen from Belgium, Van Eck from the Netherlands, Tornillian from France, and Meyer from Germany. Wow, this is fast and furious.
So here we go, world champion Van Eck, second from the left here. He'll want to be first in and through the gap, and they go side by side again. It's all elbows, it's all bars. Contact sport is mountain bike eliminator. Mayer, though, definitely taking it shoulder to shoulder as they go in and through. And this is going to be really key. Goes into third place as Van der Steen comes into second. Over the doubles they go. The world champion, look over his shoulder. Well, he's cool, he's calm at the moment. Is he collected enough to keep doing that all the way through to the finish? He needs to have an awareness of where these riders are, whilst at the same time dropping down the steps, coming into this step up, this left turn critical. We saw that big move being made by Calhoun as we came in through last time on this left-hand turn into the step up and then up the steps. This is the right turn, though, the wall ride. This brings you on to the straight. So at the moment, the world champion leading this out as they come through down the straight at the end of lap number 1.
Well, it's fabulous to have Jeroen Van Eck, the world champion, back in the mix. He's not raced on the World Cup Series since he took that world championship title back in Aalen in Germany last year. Klemenchek, Gabenheimer and Lind lined up behind him at that world championship final. He's dropped into second place at the moment. The question is, can Van der Steen stay ahead of him?
Well, at the moment, it's a great ride by Van der Steen. He's holding the world champion behind. It puts the world champion as the rider most likely to get caught and overtaken. Mayer is not afraid of making the moves. We've seen that. And on this drop down, as the front rider slows off to come around that turn, it allows the riders behind just to carry a little bit more speed. That compression as they come into these obstacles brings them back together. Then we've got the wall ride. Again, it allows that little bit of later braking coming in. All 4 riders come over the top. This is a sprint for the line. Jeroen Van Eck's got a big sprint. Can he unleash it at the moment? He needs to just stay ahead of Mayer. Will he try and go around the outside of the leader? He's not going to. Van der Steen is going to take position 1. It's going to be Van Eck in 2. And then it will be Tonil and Mayer in that order over the line. Well,
Van der Steen and the world champion Jeroen Van Eck go through and progress to the semi-finals. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Our last quarter-final heat here, though. Theo Hauser, Jakob Klemenchek, Atelier Gerli and Quintin Lucchini, who was the surprise in the time trial earlier on. One to watch, Matt.
Well, he set off like a rider who knows that he can really make a big impact there. Just drops that seat back down there, just lower it down, gets the centre of gravity down, drops the weight down. I tell you something, he's really looking good as he comes round these turns. He's got the handling down straight over the top there, no fear whatsoever over that double, and carrying so much pace. And it does mean at the moment that the World Cup leader is being at the moment left in third place. It's the white jersey with the red bands on it. At the moment, sitting in third place, needs to close it down on Garrity. At the moment, Theo Hauser, a man who we would expect to be right up there, Emma, not in contention. They've got to make the move. The straight, this start-finish straight at the end of lap 1 is the place to make it if you carry the speed, but our leader's gone.
Well, and Hauser is the rider in the European title holders jersey at the back of the pack here, but take a look at this. He's absolutely dialing it on. The pace is on this finish straight. This is the place to overtake, and this is what is happening here. So we've seen some shuffling in the pack.
We've seen a shuffle, but it's not enough. Nobody has got the winning car by the look of it, except for the man at the front. And that's Quintin Lucchini, the Frenchman, leading this out. He's cleared the doubles before the nearest rider comes over, and that is Klemenchek sitting in second place at the moment. European champion Theo Hauser, the man who made a real impact when he joined the XCE Racing. He's right in position, and he's looking to pounce behind Attila. Garrity can never be discounted from this, but I'm not sure Garrity's got the sprint to match Hauser or Klemenchek. At the moment, though, Lucchini well out of trouble up at the front. This is going to take him through if he can just hold it together over the wall ride. He does. Now, it's going to take a major mechanical to cause a problem for him, but behind him, the sprint is unfolding here. Who will it be? The series leader is leading this out of the 2 riders chasing for the last qualifying spot, and he's going to get it. Klemenchek is going to go through ahead of Hauser. Hauser will be out of this. So will Garrity. Lucchini and Klemenchek through at the end of our quarterfinals.
Wow, well, what a race. What a result as well, because that's shaken everything up. Lucchini qualifying in 1. Klemenchek, the current World Cup leader, in 2. Hauser then, Gerli. You can see the riders who qualify and progress to the semi-finals. Lind, Kraus, Van der Steen, Van Eck, Calhoven, Molnar, Lucchini and Klemenchek. That is going to be a great race, and we're going to see how that plays out after the women's semi-final, which will be the next race up. Now, we saw the riders progress to the semi-finals earlier on today. The first semi-final heat, Tormena from Boissier, Closure and Giorgio. The second heat is going to be Fromberger, De Vries, Migdam and Serval. These are going to be tight races today, but we saw the dominance, Matt, from Gaia Tormena, the world champion, and Marion Fromberger. Both of those riders rode away in their heat.
They rode away, and that is the tactic that they want to take. I'm going to be really interested to see what happens here between Colleen Closure and Madison Boissier. They rode their quarterfinal very much as a team here. And, of course, the rider who could really mix this up is Giorgio, who rode really strongly for Cyprus, the rider in the grey jersey here at the moment. So the world champion goes into the lead from that start. That explosive start so critical. Behind, then you can see Closure holding second place. Boissier couldn't in third place, and they know that they've got their work cut out when you've got the world champion in front. The only way to crack Gaia Tormena generally is to keep her under pressure all the way around and hope that she makes a mistake.
Well, that is indeed the way to put pressure on her, but it is so hard to put the world champion under pressure because she is absolutely dominant. She was dominant last year, and she's going to be doing a very similar thing this year by the look of her form today. She's been out on the road racing. She's been racing mountain bikes. This is her first XCE of the season. But let's not forget, she is 5 times world champion, and you don't take the title 5 times without being serious class.
No, and the riders who are racing at the moment, we've got to remember a lot of these riders are racing lots of different disciplines as well. So we've seen enduros from Tormena, we see cross-country racing as well. But of course, a bit difficult to bring those into the city, right into the middle of the town. We're here in the heart of Leuven, and at the moment the world champion leading this race out well clear at the front of the race. Getting the crowds down to watch. They're going to watch a battle here between the two teammates. I think at the moment Giorgio, unless she's holding something back for that final sprint and just banking it all on that last minute push, is going to be in trouble. At the moment, Madison Boissier is behind her teammate, and the team orders need to go out of that window right now, and it needs to be a case of go chase, get that second position. The youngster will want it, but it looks to me though at the moment that Closure is defending. Tormena clear up onto the step up behind. You can see Closure goes, and behind Boissier takes the inside line. She's looking for a way past. It's going to surely come to a sprint between the two teammates here. Giorgio, though, comes round that turn. I don't think she can now make this. It's still all about who goes through. Tormena will be through. She's going to take this. But look at this. Madison Boissier puts the afterburners on. She kicks down and she goes clear. What an acceleration. Well, it's going to be Tormena through. Gaia Tormena, the world champion, through. Madison Boissier through. And then Giorgio and Closure will not be making their way through into the main final. They'll be going through into the minor final for positions 5 to 8.
Well, the second semi-final lining up down in the start area from Estonia. It is Civil. Germany rider Fromberger. From the Netherlands, it's De Vries. And then from Denmark, it's Migdam.
So Lynn Migdam can never be discounted from this, but if you look at De Vries' pace off there, she wanted to get straight in front of Fromberger. Now, that means that Fromberger is in the danger position. She's in the position that can be a challenge. Merrily Serval is the rider in 4th place. Around the turn onto the double clear. That double cleanly, first 2 over 3. And then our 4th rider just catching the lip of the landing on the way down. Just case that. So Merrily Serval at the moment just losing a little bit of time and momentum. The front 2 locked together. Didi De Vries leading out of the Netherlands national champion ahead of Marion Fromberger. Fromberger really powering away up here, and at the moment Serval is losing ground. Lynn Migdam, though, just waiting, sitting back a couple of bike lengths at the moment. A great tactic if you can then charge through that wall ride and carry the pace and momentum on. But I think she's lost the wheel here, and the the air's getting in. She can't get the drag. She can't get that little bit of pace off the back wheel here. Fromberger makes a move up the inside. She doesn't want to be in the danger zone. And look at this. Straight in and through on the inside. Well and truly shuts the door. My line, thank you very, very much. Lynn Migdom goes through into second place there. And she shuts Didi de Vries down into third place. This is for a place in the main final. 2 through to the main finals, 2 through to the fight for 5th to 8th position. And at the moment, Marion Fromberger clear at the front. Didi de Vries dropping down. She took that early race lead, but at the moment, that move, that sprint up the inside there allowed the positions to change, just coming into that last corner. And at the moment, Lynn Migdom really needs to make this stick now if she wants to go through. Didi de Vries is pressure in. They come round the wall right, and it's a flat-out drag race to the finish. De Vries carries pace round. She goes up on the inside. A push across there by Migdom. They're going side to side. They're going to use all of this road. Fromberger's going to have to watch out they don't run into the back of her here. Big push by De Vries. Who wants this the most? Didi de Vries does. She goes through ahead of Lynn Migdom. It came down to that final throw in over the line.
I told you she wanted that big final. She was disappointed by not making it last time, and she was absolutely adamant that she was going through to the major final today. So Didi de Vries and Marion Fromberger progressing from that semi-final heat. They get that green qualifying mark by the name. Lena Migdom put in a fantastic fight there, though. Great ride from her. As we see the next up, men's already on the road.
So away they go. So number 1 plate, Evan Lind. Number 12 plate, Thibaut Kalhoven. The number 17 plate is Louis Kraus. And the number 20, Eddie Carolee Molnar. And it's Molnar who's leading out at the moment. Right on his heels is Kalhoven in the red and black. Both the riders just whipping up as they come up across there. Just wanted to keep it nice and wide. Don't want anybody overtaking as they go up over the double. A lot of subtlety to this. A lot of positioning. A lot of it is about key. And it's about being able to use those slight advantages and those slight little bits of tactics to get a little bit of advantage. And look at the move here. Up over the step up there. Big move up the inside. Edwin Lind not leaving it to chance to the last gas. He's gone up the inside. He's put himself into second position here. But now we're going to see a sprint. And this is just to get in and across the line to head out once again.
Well, it is, and Lind really does not want to miss out because he has been so dominant. Let's remember he took the fastest time in the individual time trial earlier on and has that number 1 board on his bike. He wants to be number 1 at the end of the day, and he doesn't want to get beaten.
He certainly doesn't, and look at this Molnar starting to move back up. This is so similar to before the rider who has gone down, Louis Kraus, dropping back, but he's moved from 4th back in to 3rd place, and now it is Kalhoven down. I think every time we hit an obstacle, you could almost throw the cars in the air and then reshuffle the pack as they come back down again, because every time there's a compression of slowing down, it's changing position. So at the moment, Molnar in 1 in that dark blue purple kit. You've got Lynn with the light blue jersey, the light blue shoulders are there, sitting in at 2. Kraus moving up on the right in the white with the German bands on their shoulder to shoulder. And I'll tell you something, it's going to take both riders out of contention. The fight there between Kalhoven and Kraus has cost both of them time, and now it's only going to be Kraus who can do anything about it. Can he get on his way down the straight past Molnar? He can. Molnar pushes to the line, and Lind, I think, has gone out there. That came down to the throw. Lind, I think, was caught napping there. He thought that was secure. He didn't realise they were coming behind. Look at this. He sees them coming. He thinks he's there. This is going to come down to a photo finish.
Well,
let's wait to see they're confirmed.
That is 0.01 of a second if Edward Lind goes out, because at the moment it's Kraus, Molnar who progress. Lind and Kalhoven don't. This one, however, is Van der Steen, Van Eck, Lucchini and Klemenchek.
So Klemenchek currently moving his way up through. He wants to get it up into position, but he can't get round the rest of the riders. The world champion who we saw use that sprint, Jeroen Van Eck, on the heels here of Lucchini, and Lucchini not having it as much his own way as he did in those quarterfinals. Remember, 2 riders into the main final for positions 1 to 4, the minor final for positions 5 to 8, and this is the last of our semi finals here today. And at the moment, do not discount any of these riders, no matter where they are on the race route. Van der Steen at the moment looks like he's just holding back a little bit. There's no point just trying to battle at the moment. Take a smooth ride and come kicking out of this corner.
Well, Lucchini, the 20-year-old Frenchman, he's the 2023 Junior French XCO champion. He's on the Under-23 World Cup XCO scene at the moment, and he's absolutely been a lightning bolt here on XCE today in Leuven.
A massive, massive move up the inside there on that straight. You could see the series leader pushing his way up there, Klemenchik. He moved up, he pushed out, have put Lucchini down. And is this where the youngster pays the price for being new on the scene? The world champion using all of his experience there. The three riders side by side down the straight, and then it came shoulder to shoulder. This is critical here, and they're now putting the pressure on the second placed rider. That at the moment is our series leader. He will want to go through with maximum points. Remember that this is all about getting points and positions, taking the win, yes, but scoring big points as well. You need to get into the main final. To do that, you need to finish in the front two. So at the moment, the world champion leading out, the series leader sitting in second position. Now comes the sprint. Has Lucchini got anything left in those legs? The man in orange is coming up behind, but I don't think he's coming fast enough. This is the battle for second and third place as they come into the line. Klemenchik, I think he's just going to go through ahead of Van der Steen. And again, I think if our timing screens are to be believed, again, 0.01 of a second between second and third place. That's how close it is. How close
are these semi-finals? Absolutely phenomenal riding from the men. And the young rider, the young French rider, Quentin Lucchini, taking on the world champion and the World Cup Series leader here on XCE on the streets of Leuven. And, well, I wouldn't want to go up against Jeroen van Eck or Jakob Klemenchik, but Lucchini did. You can see the head bowed coming across the line in fourth place. But chapeau, young man, I hope we see you back. Louis Krausen, Eddie Molnar, Jeroen van Eck and Jakob Klemenchik, the four riders who will go through to the main final today for the men. In fact, you can see the finals, the small finals in the women, and the men will be up first before the main finals.
So away we go very, very quickly up to speed here as these riders self Colleen Plageot, the rider with the number 5 plate, Migden with 6, and Giorgio with 9, and Cerville with 10. They are the riders at the moment, the former world champion leading this out by some margin. She's got the gap at the moment, so Colleen Plageot of France ahead of Denmark's Lynn Migden. Migden had a great season last season, looking to build on that into this minor final. Will be scoring more points in that series round the left-hand turn. This is going to be really critical. You've got to be smooth, you've got to be fast, but you've also got to be very aware where everybody is. But this is now for position. It's not about being in the top two, it's about taking away the top spot if you can at the moment. Colleen Plageot has set out her stall. She is here in the marketplace, and at the moment she's started some seriously fast speed as we see a drop down, and that is not good news because you can just see that Migden has just gone backwards there, and Merrily Seville is the rider who's moved up onto the heels of Plageot. This is going to be really telling the issue with the bike. It looked like she had no driver. She lost driver. The chain had come off the chain wheel, and we've seen that happen even in the very last turns in this race before. Then you've got a problem, so making sure you get the bike to line critical. And at the moment, Lynn Migden, after having been in second place, dropping down out of contention for the race win, and it's left Merrily Siddle looking to close down on Colleen Plageot, and she's coming, she's heading for a back wheel at the moment on the drop down. This is the run into that left hand turn. Carry the pace, carry the speed on to the step up. Seville goes through. Now, can she make it count in the sprint? She's got a good kick. We've seen her really accelerate up, and we have seen Colleen Plageot get relegated down into the minor final in a sprint. Who's got the legs here? Has Plageot got anything left? Here she comes. We've seen the move here by Merrily Seville on the left-hand side. Seville goes on the outside, and she is going to be too much for the former world champion. Merrily Seville comes through. She's going to take 5th place overall and take the win in the minor final. Behind her, Colleen Plageot will go through in 6th. It's going to be a 7th place for Giorgio of Cyprus and an 8th place for Lena Migden here today.
Yeah, it was indeed, and we talked right at the start of the show about the importance of the long finishing straight and the ability to overtake, and it was absolutely played out there in the women's small final. Clojure leading, as we see in the shots, but it all came down to that second lap where the gap started to close, and then that final sprint.
And it almost looked like the freewheel body didn't just get drive, it did almost not like the chain had come off, but you could just see it was enough for Lynn Migdon to be pushed to the back of the riders in that race, and clearly disappointed after being in contention. Now we are going to move on to the men's minor final here. So Edwin Lind, the rider who is not on the start line here today. I'm just going to do a double check of that, but it's not on the start line, so it means that Van der Steen, the rider at the back here, up against Calhoun in the red and black, and the orange there of Quentin Lucchini. Lucchini leading out here. He will want to take away top spot in this minor final. The races come thick and fast here as we get back up to speed, up to pace. The riders very quickly kicking out of the corner. You can see Lucchini leading from the front. This is where he was confident. He was in control. Will he be able to hold off Calhoun? Calhoun will make those moves. He's not afraid of muscling his way up to the front. Neither is Van der Steen, but Calhoun, the more experienced of the two riders when it comes to the mountain bike eliminator here in Leuven. Lucchini leads them over the top. Three riders together. Can the youngster do this?
Well, I think he can. I think he showed today that he really does have the drive. The question is, does he want this? Now he's not made the final, and the pace is so strong, I tell you. He might be technically really good and good from the front, but what can he now do from the back?
He's got to be able to make that move. He needs to save something for that final sprint, but still manage to stay in touch. The legs are going to be burning. The lactic acid is going to be pouring through the system. The lungs are going to be on fire, trying to suck up enough oxygen to make everything work. And at the same time, you've got to keep a clear head whilst you're on your limit all the way around here. Need 2 minutes of racing. It means you're on the limits for 2 minutes, and that's what's happening at the moment. You can see the race being led out at the moment. It is Janne Van der Steen who's leading here from Belgium. He'll be no stranger to the streets of Leuven. Everybody in cycle sport in Belgium knows Leuven and knows this race area. He's leading out. He's got Calhoun coming on his shoulder here. Lucchini's down into third place here. This is the fight for 5th, 6th and 7th. Calhoun goes. He comes on the left-hand side here, and he's going to go over the top. Calhoun takes away what will be a 5th place. It will be a 6th for Van der Steen, a 7th for Lucchini, and that will leave Lind with 8th place. Fantastic race coming into the finish. A massive sprint from Calhoun.
Well, it was indeed, and just taking the win on that, and he'll be well worth picking up those points in the overall World Cup with that 5th place today. Now, the women's final. Didi de Vries from the Netherlands, Gaia Tormena from Italy, Marion Fromberger from Germany, and Madison Boissier from France. This should be good.
The riders ready, away they go. The world champion Tormena will want to take this out from the front. She's there. She's got Fromberger in 2nd position, and you can see Didi de Vries goes really wide. They're looking to settle that corner. Take a look at Madison Boissier. Boissier currently in 3rd place. The world champion Tormena over the top of that double, but Fromberger glued to that back wheel. It's like a bungee cord. He's stuck between the two bikes at the moment. There's nothing to choose between them. Boissier just losing a little bit of ground, but she'll be able to run on here with a clean view of the run down these steps. Now Tormena, can she put the power down? We're seeing a response here by Fromberger, and Tormena has not gone clear here. This is going to keep the pressure on. Boissier pressures Fromberger. She comes up on the outside. It's a long way round the outside. She can't make it round that way, but she is keeping the pressure on.
Well, she is indeed, and for me, this is a course where Fromberger could really challenge Tormena. This is a power drive. There are long sections on this course where it is about absolute power, and I'll tell you something, Fromberger has that, but so does does Tormena, and Tormena is starting to pull away.
So as the world champion pulls away to go on to lap 2 of 2, it's our world champion Gaia Tormena in the lead, the Italian rider in the world champs rainbow jersey, leading this out. Second place at the moment is Fromberger. She's looking to keep this smooth on the way round. She can't relax though, because immediately behind Madison Boissier of France is in third position, with Didi de Vries dropping down into fourth place and looking like she's going to be out of contention for a top 3 spot. But one mistake by any one of these riders will see them deposited on the floor. They will be cuddling the cobbles, and that's where nobody wants to be. Up on to the top of that step up, and you can see even Tormena there not taking a clean run up onto the top platform there as they come round the right hand wall. To Tormena through smoothly. Fromberger goes through smoothly as well. She's got the gap on Madison Boissier. It's going to be Tormena. It's Tormena who takes the win here in Leuven at round number 2 of the UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup.
Yeah, round 2 goes to Gaia Tormena. Marion Fromberger pleased with her race in second place today. Madison Boissier putting in a phenomenal performance. That's her third place. Both at World Cups this season. That is consistency.
Absolutely flying, and such a step up from the previous season. She's improved season on season, and Emma and myself have been lucky enough to put words to the action to the Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup for some time now, along with a lot of the other disciplines. We've seen Gaia Tormena be strong, but we've seen riders coming up and challenging. Fromberger always strong, very pleased with that second place, and Madison Boissier's improvement. Oh, that's what it's all about, watching these young riders improve. Got a feel for Didi de Vries not to be her day on a podium, but I tell you something, that's still a good ride, and she's back in the main final, which, as you said, Emma, was her target.
It was indeed. And can I just say, Madison Boissier took her first podium last year in 2024. She took second place in Plankarage. She's had 2 podiums this season. Absolutely brilliant. Now the men's final lining up from Germany. It is indeed Lewis Kraus. From the Netherlands, Jeroen van Eck, the world champion. From Slovenia, it is Jakub Klemenček. And from Romania, Eddie Molnar.
So away they go. This start will be critical. Van Eck will want to take the lead in. He's going to go through in the lead onto the start finish straight. 2 full laps of this circuit to do. And at the moment you can already see Kraus up challenging the current series leader Klemenček, who gets pushed down into 4th position. I don't expect these gaps to open up at all between these riders to get to this final. Our riders know that they need to be on top form. It's about managing your energy in those early rounds, and it's been a tough race, I think, for every single one of these riders, all the way through those qualifying rounds, all the way through that time trial, through to the 8th, to the quarters, into the semis, and now into our main final. Kraus makes a move on the outside. Can he carry the pace? Can he carry the speed up onto Molnar's shoulder? He's still pinned on the outside here. He's trying to get up the inside, coming into the wall ride. He's got nowhere to go, though, and you can see the 2 riders together. Very easy to get ejected off the top, and pressing the safety button rather than the eject button there. That was Molnar, who's now gone down into 3rd place. They're coming and pushing now. Klemenček is trying to go on the shoulder of Molnar. Molnar's holding him off, and a massive move across by Kraus to cut the nose off both riders to hold that 2nd position. All that infighting, leaving Jeroen van Eck in the race lead. Here we go, through the chicane, onto the double. Our leader over smoothly. Kraus goes over. Jeroen van Eck absolutely revelling being in those World Championship rainbow bands that are universal across all of cycle sport. And you can see at the moment he really has opened up a gap. This should be his fault. He's taking no mistakes, no mechanicals, and he'll get that home cleanly. Losing a little bit of speed compared to the earlier rounds. And you can see Kraus along with Klemenček and Molnar in the order behind. Who's going to be on the podium? Who's going to be looking on from the crowd as they come round the turn? Molnar carrying the pace. This is weaving side to side. The world champion is going to make it 2 world championships win. Tormena took the women's. It's going to be a win for Van Eck in 1st place. Kraus wants it the most in 2nd place, ahead of series leader Klemenček, who's going to take away the points for being in 3rd place, and Eddie Molnar will be our 4th place rider. The 2 rainbow jerseys together, 2 wins.
Well, they are indeed. So both world champions, Jeroen van Eck taking the men's, Gaia Tormena taking the women's. But can I just say, Louis Kraus threw everything at that to get 2nd place. Every move in the book he utilised to the best of his ability to stop Jakub Klemenček and Eddie Molnar coming round him and taking 2nd spot today. Klemenček, the current series leader coming into this, is going to have to be happy with 3rd third place today in that men's final. Molnar took fourth in round one. He's going to take fourth in round two as well. So the world champion comes over the line in the men's race to replicate the world champion coming over the line in the women's race. Gaia Tormena and Jerome Van Eck are your two winners today here at the 2025 UCI MTB Eliminator World Cup Round 2 from Leuven in Belgium. So we are very shortly going to move to the podium celebrations today for round 2 of the World Cup. We're going to have the women's up first, and I am hoping we are going to be able to head down very, very shortly to hear from Gaia Tormena, the winner of the women's race today.
I have to say, amazing riding, and to put those performances down as world champions, absolutely phenomenal. You've got the jersey on, you've got that target on your back. The rainbow stripes, there's a legend that it's a curse that you don't ride as well. But I'll tell you something, these two riders today have been shown that's not true.
Congratulations. What a way to honor the rainbow shirt one last time before going back to Sakarya and fight for it.
Yes, I'm very, very happy because, as everyone knows, this one could be the last one with the jersey because the World Championship is just a one-day race, so everything can happen. And I'm very happy to honor the jersey in this way here in Leuven, as I did last year. I realized that my last World Cup has been 1 year ago here. So yes, I came here very confident, knowing that my legs were good and knowing that an athlete is not made just from legs, but from heart and mind. So I raced at my best, studying my opponents, and I made it, so I'm very, very happy.
Today was a very fast and a very tight race, but still it seemed like you were always on top of things. Seemed like you had control throughout the day?
Yes, I was in control all day long, and I'm very, very happy about it because the next race in Sakarya will be a very important one. And so, yes, I still have a lot of work to do because, as I said, I was more concentrated in road racing at the moment. But yeah, it is incredible, and I wasn't expecting this.
Good luck in Sakarya and enjoy today.
Thank you very much.
Well, our winner today, the world champion Gaia Tormena, will be, by the sounds of that, defending her world championship title in Sakarya later this year. You can see the flowers on the podium. Gaia Tormena takes away the win today in the MTB Eliminator World Cup Round 2. Marion Fromberger in second place. Madison Boissier takes third. It's going to be a great World Championships, Matt.
It is, and I'm really looking forward to a very different course. This is an urban course. We go on to a purpose-built circuit, and it's going to be interesting to see what Tormena does there. Well,
Marion Fromberger now moves up into the lead in the World Cup standings. Madison Boissier moves up to second. Gaia Tormena slots into third. Didi de Vries in fourth. Suka Palova, who took the win in round one, had that incident in the time trial and didn't make the quarterfinals today. She drops back to fifth place, but I so hope she is going to be back at those World Championships, which is up next in Sakarya for a right battle. Now, let's take a listen to the interview with our men's winner, the world champion, Jerome Van Eck.
Congrats. What a race today. It seemed like you had a super day.
Well, at least I enjoyed it very, very much. It's always like after the winter to come back in the World Cup season with the World Championships close by already. I just tried my best and trained hard, and well, I think preparation went well today.
Seemed like today was a rainbow shirt day, the UCI World Champions Day.
Yeah, I must say it feels very good to win in the World Champion jersey, especially the way I raced. I just trust in myself and in my strength, and then it's just so nice to go so fast through the corners, over the obstacles. It really just feels like you're in the flow and in the zone, and yeah, I executed it well.
Was it your way also to honor the jersey right before the next World Championships?
I must say also in personal life, I lost a good friend from high school last week on just 30 years old. So tip, this one is also a bit for him. But then still, you just need to focus on your tasks, and I think I did very well today. So yeah, really proud of this result.
I think your friends will be proud too of you.
I hope so. Wish you the best, mate.
Thanks.
Well, a meaningful win for Jerome van Eck today, taking the win here at round 2 in Leuven. Really, really heartfelt. So Jerome van Eck takes away the win today at round 2 in Leuven. Louis Kraus from Germany taking second, and Jakub Klemenček taking third.
Fantastic riding, 3 great riders. Kraus doing a great job there, getting himself into second place. And the series leader scoring points, importantly for that overall series.
Yes, and you can see he holds on to the lead in that series. So Jakub Klemenček stays at the top of the World Cup standings. Edvard Lind, even though he didn't make those finals today, sits in second place. There is no movement there. Molnar moves up into third. Jerome van Eck slips into fourth. Simon Gegenheimer moves down from third to fifth. It is tight in terms of those positions, and I think the rest of the rounds of the World Cups, and there are 8 rounds in total this year. We're only on number 2. It is going to be a real battle out there for that World Cup Series win. So as we drop in with the highlights here today of fantastic racing in Leuven, it has been absolutely brilliant racing today. Join us for round 3 in Aalen in Germany. That is on July the 12th to see how the mountain bike Eliminator season continues. But before then, we head to Sakarya in Turkey, as mentioned by Gaia Tormena. Will the legs, the heart, the mind all be in the zone for those World Championships, for our 2 defending World Champions, that 2025 World Championships taking place on June the 22nd. We're going to see you there. The question is, will you be there watching?
What a place to go. Go watch it, go get to the side of the course, see if our rainbow jerseys can repeat what they've done here today on a totally different course with some real off-road terrain and a single lap. Going to be critical. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing all that action.
Well, both the rainbow jerseys dominated today. Gaia Tormena in the women's race, Jerome van Eck in the men's. It's going to be brilliant to see them defend their titles on June the 22nd. We'll see you again then. Goodbye.